And coming to you live from the News Hub here at Adisawe, Kanda in Accra. This is Midday Live. Good afternoon to you and thank you for making time with us. My name is Nanikia Mensah Brampa. Let's stay with the headlines now. And coming up this afternoon, some parents who lost their wards at Kumaka contest claims their children died as a result of swine flu outbreak. Meanwhile, government to bear funeral expenses of 4 students of Kumasi Academy Senior High School, Kumaka, who died as a result of the swine flu outbreak. And as Ghana joins the world to observe Anti-Corruption Day 2017, we will explore whether we are doing enough to fight the menace. And later on the foreign front, Security Council unanimously approves resolution to enable UN peacekeeping force in Mali supports the new 5,000-troop African force fighting extremists in Western Africa's vast Sahel region. All right, so we have the detail of these as well as the latest in the world of sports and entertainment. To the next, I remember you can stay interactive with us on our social media platforms. Let's settle now for the detail. And MP for Asasewa Muntaka Mubarak is calling for surveillance to be intensified at the Kumasi Academy and the Asokore Mampon municipality.
I visited the Kumasi Academy. And Mr. Speaker, it will shock me to know when this has happened and we are struggling to contain it. The gate of Kumasi Academy was open ajar. So people are walking in and walking out. What is he going to do to the community? Because now that it is swine flu, that can easily be spread. What are they going to do to the community? Will the vaccination cover the community? 2, Mr. Speaker, on Saturday, when the anniversary was happening, from His Excellency, the President, ministers, members of Parliament, the general public, we were all there. Are they going to vaccinate us too? We want to know what broad program they will have to be able to deal with it, knowing very well that the initial management had been very challenging and had been very poor, and many people had interacted with the community and with the students and are not on the campus. So if you go vaccinating only the teaching staff, their children, and the non-teaching staff, the students, you get it wrong.
And that was the MP for Asawase Muntaka Mubarak. Let's still stay a while on that because some parents who lost their wards at the Kumasi Academy Senior High School, Kumaka, are contesting claims by the Ministry of Health that they died as a result of swine flu outbreak. They have been speaking to TV3.
Because Accra onyare Accra ne be fie adwada oba na mowa edo atwa ne mama so bra yi picture ne mama hwe atwa ne mama so so na mo de junction volatile Accra mama so oba wo se onyare ya gitum se onyare oda ma de chin Tuesday oba je down white omo de be anniversary no na oba school Tuesday anwumre ne papa bi dan ne kwan Wednesday ahomache na Accra no mo se wo yare omo ko hospital around 1 something and owu around 3 something take parents na nya we mo frɛ ye ba ya na se wo mo frɛ ba ya na owu enti me ko hospital na me bra na yere ko court ko je order yi ana me ko mo twere ho ko hwe Accra no o hwe Accra wo da ho ya se wo a bibia nche se me ba na wu de me ko atamase o wu ye enti me se na me ho saa doctors ne ba me se mo ntwen ni an hwa bi kwa na okoko ma na wasɔre ba me ho se ne pulse ni nyina anya adwuma won home onya hwe ti be gina na ho saa ko se me bra mo ba ya mo be hwe no doctor ne ba be 3 ana mo se postmortem na se me gina ho me gina me ba na postmortem me ha cry e de ekuma Accra no ti me me bra me na me dika ko gina wo hwe papa ni nyina me hwe de na ekoso na me ntimi na me friend bras on so me gina me hwe de ekoso because bia me be kan no anye ani so on sa de no mo de bo Accra no se ye honhum tuo minim
na ne na wo hwe e be ye anopa be ye nondu ana ma me tse so o me gbem o tafo me say adena wo yale na won ko take hospital. Was a ma edipa me ensa ko take ntime nko be kwa mewu. Na me friend the brother we chire ni. Say me say won kwata fuji. Nti the brother dey dibli ka fit school. No kwata fuji. To so kwata fuji na da no so ye holiday. Nti the power ho pa ana ura de no ko Otafo Methodist Hospital. Martin so jan ho sa na dwudum yenu ne efa no ye nya media. Aye gina hospital onye nwuye no. Doctor no odi ka be hwede ma mete say yale ni free the call ha na afa ni the chiri kase.
Thursday na nwumere no. Ana menya call be 8:14. Ana call ba say me ba na yare. Na omde na akoto take hospital. Timisa bla ne say ne he na ni ana osi ni ti. Tobi na akoto hospital de cha momodin say me bantem. Nti ahomache na ebo na omiensa na me sorry ndwale na me see kwan so na ja nti ebo sesi ni medru hospital na asia be 10 to 10:30 mo na hu se kai bia be genti on house master ni minim ni nti hu se wo film wa teachers ni be kan ho na me sorry na me tia wo timja no biza me za minim no na me so me ba ne Felix na o se ne wa hye yenso na me sin ade na ta mbedua ni me say sata man for hwe o mama Mama mentimi akwa na up to na me da ho ti na dey ntina mo fra me say me mlantem no so ma me kwa kuma to na doctor wo enti mo komi bai na mo ka cha me say me ntwa na doctor ho no na ni awrade akwa ni papa wi bosu mi mu da na mba ni so huye bosu mi mu da na mba ni so huye sa anu na me tintie say me ba ni wo school man say 12 o'clock na ti afọ ne dey to atwe ne ho ma ne da e ya wi 12:30 ena ese na pa na kwan ka cha o mo so yale ena o ma na dro ma kwan ne no medro no dro no kwado bi a kwan de chira kwai e da kwan da dem no mo na kula na wu no mo nti na dan fu no kwa ne mo de be tina atwe akwala ne wo timba ni wo school no mo ti ma ne da wa no ma e me boss a 8 aso mo ti ma kwan na ko hospital no.
Well, some aggrieved parents there who are contesting claims by the Ministry of Health that their wards died as a result of swine flu out of the outbreak. Meanwhile, government says it would bear the funeral expenses of 4 students of Kumaka who died as a result of the swine flu outbreak. Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia announced this when he visited the school to sympathize with students, teachers and families of the victims on Friday in the Ashanti region.
I know you have lost 4 very dear brothers and sisters, 1 girl, 3 boys. It's been a very, very heart-wrenching episode, and I know all of you are crying inside. I know all of you are very scared about what has happened. The President wants me to tell you and to give you the assurance that we are doing everything that we can in our power to resolve this crisis. God is on our side. By the grace of God, the medical staff, the doctors, the nurses, the researchers have been able to determine exactly what the problem is. And because we have been able to determine what the problem is, we know also thankfully what the treatment is. And thankfully also, this is a strain of the virus that is treatable. Once we detect it early, it can be treated. And so the treatments have started arriving, and we are in very good shape in that regard. Vaccines will come in also beyond treatment for this. We will also get vaccinated. It has been contained, and we want to keep it that way. We are hopeful and prayerful that with all the work that is going on and with the cooperation of all of you and your parents, that this thing will be history very soon.
You're watching Midday Live, and we're still looking at updates on the Kumaka issue. And Minister of Health Kweku Agyeman-Manu has assured parents and guardians of Kumaka that the outbreak is under control. Now, he told a gathering of parents vaccines from the World Health Organization is expected in the country soon.
yadeɛ no sane enti sɛ bi ka obi a na yɛsane gye no ba baabi a yɛte a yɛayɛ wɔ hɔ na bi nkaeɛ no yɛde yadeɛ no ɛsane aba hɔ sɛ ɔtrɛ bebree a ne kon no ɛbɛyɛ gyinamaeɛ yɛ a yɛma nnuro no yɛgu so a yɛyɔ mɛsrɛ mo yɛmwaduro no bi a ɔte sɛ nea yɛate nteteɛ no sɛ basin enti yadeɛ no ntumi nka obiem enti nea akora biara wɔ bia no awofɔ nsorɔn ɛne teacherfoɔ no a mowɔ nkora no telephone numbers the text messages ne ade no momfrɛ bɛ sɛ baabi adu no ɔnyɛ ho biem yɛho yare korɔ no ɛnyɛ adeɛ bia bɛfirim biem yɛwɔ nnuro so sɛsɛ adeɛ no sateɛ no Ghana Health Service nyame adom bɛde nnuro aba afei ofiri nnuro a bɛsi nnɛ me minister me nega yi Ghana Health Service panyini no yɛne wiase nyinaa ba bɛhwɛ apɔnten so adwuma WHO foɔ adi nkita ho nti yɛ a nnɛ bɛde ama yɛni sɛ aduro no a yɛde ama nkoraa no ebebree wɔ hɔ Geneva a bɛfiri ase a bɛpaki bi a bɛde bia yɛ dɛ ɛbra yɛ aka sɛ bɛyɛ bɛkɔ plane mu na plane bɛduru ha bɛngye ne sɛ bɛdi bɛyɛ nnɛ nan koraa ebia na ɛno aduru ha afei yɛhyɛ panyin a ɔdaba no wɔ Ghana no nnura yɛ nwummerɛ yɛ ne no nyinaa na yɛte office hɔ.
That was the Minister of Health, Kweku Agyeman-Manu. But we are looking at really what answers should we get regarding this Kumaka issue. What should we have done and what should we correct? Well, the National Chairman of Ghana Coalition of NGOs in Health joins me from Sunyai in the Bunahafo region. Good afternoon to you, sir, and thank you for joining us. Here is Dr. Gabriel Benaku. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Now, some say the school should have been quarantined once the cause of the deaths were not known. Do you share in this view?
Yeah, thank you. And I will take the opportunity to deal with the families well. They should keep heart for the unfortunate thing that has happened to them. Yes, the situation, as we keep on saying, is that when the early warning signs started, the management of the school should have effectively collaborated with the Ghana Health Service for the issue to be immediately taken on. Now that it is identified and diagnosed that it is N1, H1, it simply means that it is very infectious. It simply means that clinical intervention will still have to be undergone for some time. It simply also means that tracer issues, contact tracing must be reinforced. And it simply means that we need to intensify our national surveillance system and providing services to the rest of the people in the country. So quarantine is one of the best options, so that they would, once they have taken the medication and once they are still going through the dose, it is one of the best ways they can do that. But they must provide backup support to be able to immediately take on board any eventuality that may happen.
Now, Dr. Benaku, let's cast our nets wide. Talking about Ghana's response when it comes to emergencies in the country. Now, in the wake of the Kumaka incident, what do you make of our response as a country to emergencies?
We have very weak health systems that respond to emergency. We have poor financing in the health sector, and we have poor leadership in terms of responding to emergency. These are the clear statements the coalition have always stated. Over the last 3 years, we have always talked about this. Until we see strong leadership financing the health sector and transforming the health system, we will not get there. God forbid that if Ebola had happened to Ghana, it would have been a serious disaster. Look at this even small incident. It happened in March, April. We were not able to manage the post-diagnosis issues, which could have prevented any further death. Once some work have started, when the issue started again, the whole of Kumasi, we could not have responded to it. Even where we have teaching hospitals, we could not have responded to it. We have to take it outside Kumasi
to diagnose and be able to come out with the result. It tells you clearly that our health system is very weak, the whole country, and it is high time the president take very strong decision in looking at the health budget so that we can transform at least the regional hospital and referral centers to be well strong now in terms of laboratory diagnosis, in terms of leadership training, and in terms of service delivery, so that we can prevent some of these unnecessary deaths that we are recording.
Thank you so much for your time. Dr. Gabriel Benaku is the national chairman of the Ghana Coalition of NGOs in Health, looking at some of the matters arising regarding the Kumaka incident. But let's move away from that. You can visit our social media platforms as well as our website, tweetnews.com, for more updates on that. Away from that, and today, December 9, 2017, is Anti-Corruption Day, and the theme for this year's celebration is United Against Corruption for Development, Peace and Security. Now, every year, $1 trillion is paid in bribes, while an estimated $2.6 trillion are stolen annually through corruption, a sum equivalent to more than 5% of the global GDP in developing countries. According to the United Nations Development Programme, funds lost to corruption are estimated at 10 times the amount of official development assistance. Corruption is a serious crime that can undermine social and economic development in all societies. No country, region, or community is immune. Now, the question is, here in Ghana, have we done enough to fight against corruption? Vitus Azim is an anti-corruption campaigner and joins me via phone this afternoon. Good afternoon to you, sir, and thanks for joining us.
You're welcome.
How will you assess this government's effort in tackling corruption, having in mind some cases of alleged corruption from the Boss saga that have been reported?
Well, in general, corruption has been poorly handled or managed by not only this government, but by all previous governments that we've had since we returned to the civilian regime in 1993.
Yeah. Now, the setting up of the Office of a Special Prosecutor is one thing that should be talked about. Will this in itself help end corruption in the country?
No, it will not in itself curb corruption in the country. It's just like taking one of the state attorneys and assigning him or her to deal with corruption cases. The special prosecutor will still be under the Attorney General's direction and control. In fact, the Attorney General is the person that will appoint the special prosecutor for Parliament, for President to endorse and present to Parliament for approval. So there's no guarantee. It's not a panacea to the fight, to corruption in this country.
Now, some schools of thought suggest that we should start fighting it from the roots. Will you support the teaching of courses at some basic levels towards imbibing anti-corruption into some of our, in fact, into all of our children?
Well, yes, that is a good approach. But again, it is not a panacea, because when you look at reported cases of armed robbery and all that, it is the young ones that are involved more often than. You hardly get people that are 50 and above get involved in armed robbery. So, yes, it's good to do it at that level. But then some argue that, because if the elderly are already spoiled, they are already corrupt, you cannot change them. But there are some youth that are coming up and they are already spoiled. They are looking for beautiful cars. They are looking for things that they cannot afford, even if they are working. And so, even though it is a good approach to do it that way, it is also not just an end in itself.
This year's Anti-Corruption Day has the theme United Against Corruption for Development, Peace and Security. Now, let's focus on the theme. Are we as a country working with this theme being set?
No, I don't think we are doing that, because we have politicized virtually every aspect of life in this country. When an individual person belonging to a particular party is accused of corruption, you have sometimes even state ministers like the Minister of Information or Minister of Communication coming out, even without questioning the person, to defend the person. But people belonging to a particular party will come out and start sort of trying to exonerate the person from corruption. And when you do that, you cannot say that you are united in the fight against corruption. When people are taken to court or arrested to BNI, people go and spend vigil there overnight without even finding out whether the person has actually committed that crime or not. And that is not helping us in the fight against corruption.
And if you're saying we are not living by this, in your own estimation, what would you suggest government does to work on corruption? Well,
I think the National Anti-Corruption Action Plan is very clear. We have the three approaches: the public education, the prevention. Public education we are doing, the media is helping by talking about it. Some of the civil society groups have been holding workshops and all that. The state anti-corruption institutions like NCC and SHRAC have been organizing workshops on corruption. The prevention is a problem. We have to put the necessary laws in place so that we can prevent corruption. The Asset Declaration Law is virtually not working. The Public Officer Code of Conduct Bill is still pending in Parliament. The Right to Information Bill is still pending in Parliament. So we are not doing enough on the prevention aspect. But the third one, even with the current laws, we are not enforcing them. We are not promptly investigating allegations of corruption and prosecuting people and recovering monies from people that have stolen public monies. And so we are refusing, we just have that document again, National Anti-Corruption Action Plan, but as a country, we are not doing enough to follow what we've put in that Anti-Corruption Action Plan.
We are grateful for your time. Vitus Azim is an anti-corruption campaigner, and he says more needs to be done as Ghana joins the rest of the world to celebrate Anti-Corruption Day. Let's move away now to some issues. And the Hohoe-Jasikan stretch of the Eastern Corridor Road is now a death trap. Portions of the road have crater-like potholes resulting in avoidable accidents. Meanwhile, the contractors say they are only waiting for a green light to resume work. Peter Kwadato has this one.
Work on the Eastern Corridor Road began during the tenure of former President John Evans Atta Mills. 5 years on, very little can be said about this alternative major road linking the south to the north. The state of the road can best be described as worse off compared to even when contractors had not moved to location. Various commuters along the stretch, motorists as well as other users of the Eastern Corridor Road have since been forced to endure varying forms of unbearable hardship. The Hohoe-Jasikan stretch, awarded to Messrs. Rolida in 2015, is one of the worst affected. Drivers have to go through so much stress to complete a short journey. The experience of these cargo trucks transporting cattle from the north on Monday, December 3, exposed the difficulties in plying the stretch. Drivers sometimes will have to walk through the stinking mud to ensure it is possible to use. This timber truck's smooth passage nearly deceived others. The driver and mate abandoned the assessment plan but subsequently got stuck. It took hours of struggle for the timber truck to pull the cargo truck out to safety.
You see, we are the bush cars. You see, when we enter bush, we enter more than these ones. So the main road cars, when you come and see them like this, we have to help them to come out.
These are the issues that must attract government's attention. The crave for a new region in conditions like these is absolutely needless and baseless. The District Assembly and members of Parliament must wake up from their slumber.
A resident of Jasikan had to spend close to 3 hours in the sun until he was rescued by the same timber truck when his motorbike got stuck.
The ministers, the road ministers don't want to pass through this place. For them to see how the road is, to repair the road. Gospel fact, Master, you yourself look at what is happening now. So I'm pleading.
Residents and commuters on the Eastern Corridor have yet another danger to contend with. The approaching dry season could be threatening as severe dust stares in their faces.
Embrace government's decision to put up high-rise buildings as part of its development agenda in the Zongo community. However, residents want government to make job provision a priority for residents in the Zongo community.
The community shares the same constituency with the seat of government, the Flagstaff House in Kanda, and two major TV stations, the state broadcaster, Ghana Broadcasting Corporation and TV3 Network. This community is a few minutes drive from the Kotoka International Airport, the Central Business District of Accra, the Parliament of Ghana, the ministries in Accra, and other equally important landmarks. That is how strategic Nima is located in the nation's heartbeat. For years, residents here have cried for development, but to no avail. Residents here still live in filth with poor living conditions.
One, you have a proper discussion with the people. Okay. If they fall into the vision and they agree to it, let's say the investor will be given the opportunity to collapse the land or the houses, build high-rising.
How far have we gotten with that?
If they agree, and then a kind of memorandum of understanding or agreement is signed, now there will be a lease agreement between the investor and the landlord.
Right.
The whole structure is put up, then 10 or so levels, stories, so maybe the landlord is asked to take one floor to reside.
This is not the first time residents here at Nima have received such a promise. Former President Jerry John Rawlings, John Agyekum Kufuor, John Evans Atta Mills, as well as John Dramani Mahama have all made such a promise. Now, the current NPP government led by Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has also made this promise. We are back here again at Nima to find out the reaction of residents towards it.
For residents here, the creation of a Zongo ministry alone is enough to show government's willingness to develop the Zongo community.
When you have such buildings, for example, in my house like this, a tall house, can look about 100 or 200 people here. I think someone can use so that the stretches of the people of Nima will reduce. If they promise and they fail, it's up to them.
Improve upon the sanitation, the Nima drainage system, and toiletry and so on.
Our visit took us to this ghetto where a number of youth had gathered smoking marijuana. This is how they spent their day. They also welcomed government's decision to develop the Zongo community. However, they are of the opinion job creation should be government's main objective at the Zongos.
We want work. If we get work, we go for build our house for our grandmothers and everybody. And the people who don't get money, we go full help them. But if you say they can't build a house for us, the house, we go chew the house. We go for the chew house.
If you can come out us here to go to Dodo or Medina and should develop the place for us, we like it. We don't need help. We are suffering, no work. If I don't have money, if I see my brother money, I will take it because I don't have some. We beg the government to should help us.
The indigenous community was set up long before modern-day planning came into being. President of the Ghana Institute of Planners, Alfred Kwesi Opoku, however, says a lot of work would have to go in to be able to develop the area.
All these measures to the place to be fireproof, water must run every day. If the children have to play, there must be a meadow floor where there's a playground created and so on. So all these must be built in, and when these facilities are prepared and inputted into the building, the cost is going to be high. So how many people can afford the high-rise building in terms of cost? They can only do that if they knew the implications and they agreed that we are prepared. Other than that, you put a high rise and people from outside Nima will come and buy the buildings and stay within it. And we gradually push the people of Nima away.
Residents here are hoping this would not be just another promise. For TV3, Kwabena Edu Jemfi.
We're heading to the Volta region now, where moves to broker a lasting peace between the people of Nkonya and Alavanyo has come to a crossroad following the mysterious disappearance of a 62-year-old man. The man from Siabife was at Alavanyo Kpeme during the one-week celebration of the Sasadu festival.
There was relative peace within the Nkonya Alavanyo traditional areas since the two communities signed new peace accord in September this year. Again, assurances from the two communities during the Volta Regional Peace Council meeting thereafter were heartwarming. However, a peaceful celebration of Sasadu festival hosted by the Alavanyo traditional area pulled a string. A 62-year-old man identified as George from Saviepe was reported missing on Saturday, November 25. The missing man's phone was reportedly used by someone to call his relative that he had kidnapped him. The caller, who was said to have identified himself as Lucifer from Nkonya, allegedly told the receiver that they should not bother looking for the missing man, and this has reignited tension between the two traditional areas.
What I want to tell my brothers from Alavanyo is that, yes, we have conflict. We have misunderstanding. We are all yearning for peace. And so it will never happen that we should come to Alavanyo and pick somebody.
There is need for us to understand this. The person who called said he was Lucifer. He was from Nkonya. So they can't deny this.
The situation is getting even frightening as the two communities appeared not to have full confidence in the security.
They indicated that the person was being kept at Tai. The following day, it was changed to say that the person had been brought to the Paramount Chief's house at Ahenkro. Then the third day, they said they were coming to go into the bush. So we do not know exactly what they are about.
But the Kpando Divisional Police Commander, Superintendent Prosper Ahlija, denied the assertion. He told TV3 on phone various strategies are being employed, including scientific methods, to unravel the mystery and called on the people to exercise maximum restraint. TV3's investigations have revealed that the missing George worked at Nkonya for 10 years as an ECG meter reader, suggesting he might be a known person. The Sasadu festival is celebrated among 4 traditional areas: Saviepe, Akrofu, Sovie and Alavanyo, based on their ancient migration history.
You're watching Midday Live from the News Hub, and some stories gone by. Some parents who lost their wards at Kumakakan test claims their children died as a result of swine flu. Also, Ghana joins the rest of the world to observe Anti-Corruption Day. It's Midday Live. We return with more. Stay with us. Thanks for staying with us. Let's do some business now. And Chief Executive Officer of GRIDCO, Jonathan Amakoba, says the indebtedness of ECG has made the operations of GRIDCO difficult. At the 8th Annual General Meeting in Accra, he said his outfit will put pressure on ECG to fulfill its financial obligations. And Godfrey Tenam has more.
In 2016, GRIDCO made a total revenue of 672,345,000 cedis, resulting in a net profit of 69,132,000 cedis, representing 54% increase in profit from last year, which recorded 472,345,000 cedis. However, the finances of the company were affected by increased receivables, mainly attributable to the Electricity Company of Ghana, ECG, Steel and Volta Aluminium Company VALCO, ECG owed Gridco over 540 billion 396 million cedis, and VALCO also owed over 30 billion 728 million cedis as of December 31 last year. Chief Executive Officer of Gridco, Jonathan Amwakuba, stressed the company continues to pursue defaulting customers to recover huge outstanding service charges.
We are asking them to increase what they give us every week. We are glad the minister said that ECG is going to receive some money from the ESLA bond, and that if they receive the money, we are hoping that we would receive some money from ECG. What we would have liked is that instead of giving all the money to ECG, they should have given us some.
The board chairman, Cabral Blay Amihir, said the board had consistently sought efficiency at all levels of management within the company.
A comprehensive implementation of transmission projects and programs which are important to the delivery or for the delivery of reliable electricity have been hindered by the company's financial capacity. The high level of receivables from two of our major customers continue to affect our operations.
Deputy Minister for Energy Joseph Kujo said government will continue to make the company viable.
In trying to prevent power outages, we want to, as a government, our eyes are on from generation right down to distribution. And we're thinking very broad in terms of whatever technologies that would be deployed to make sure that we achieve a cost-effective power delivered to the end user.
Now, only 1.2 million people in Ghana pay direct taxes out of the 4 million who are supposed to pay. Deputy Minister of Finance Abena Osei-Asare revealed this at the launch of the 2018 Citizens Budget at Kaswa in the Utu Senya, east of the Central Region.
The Citizens Budget is a summary of the national budget written in simple English language and some local dialect on how government plans to raise revenue to pay for its activities and how it plans to allocate such resources to achieve the national development goals. The objective is to promote citizens' understanding of the budget process and active participation in the process of development. It is to make the budget accessible to the citizens, thus enhancing transparency and accountability. Launching the 2018 Citizens Budget, Deputy Finance Minister Abena Osei-Asare noted as government starts to implement all its initiatives next year, many jobs will be created for the teeming unemployed youth. Speaking at the sidelines of the launch, the Deputy Finance Minister was convinced the Nation Builders Corps initiative will help enhance tax collection.
With the help of the Nation Builders Corps, those who are going to be under the revenue mobilization will help government to also achieve its purpose in this area.
Abena Osei-Asare indicated full implementation of digital addressing projects and the national identification systems will be key in improving government revenue, especially from property taxes.
There are about 4 million people who are supposed to be paying taxes, but currently it's just 1.2 million people who are paying the taxes in this country. So government wants to formalize the economy addressing system. Once we are able to roll out the national identification system fully, it will bring everybody on board and everybody will pay the taxes due government.
And on entertainment this afternoon, Sadia is a combination of suspense, emotions and dramatic display. The series, which is a pure Ghanaian content, has been premiered and is scheduled to take off on Monday, December 11.
All his enemies are going to turn against us, and they're going to be starting with you.
You guys are just too stupid to know that she was sleeping with Daddy.
A story that unfolds in a dramatic way, full of suspense, guilt, betrayal, family bonding, and more. Sadia is a 100-episode drama series which talks about patriotism, rural urban migration, and its related issues.
I brought you the girl, Sadia. What do they call you now?
I never changed her name. She's still Sadia.
A young lady who is born out of wedlock and finds herself in a home which is alien to her suffers the ordeal of not knowing her roots. Group CEO of Media General, Pearl Isiu-Mensah, at the premiere of the production, said the innovation was in fulfillment of the Media General's promise to dominate the airwaves with more of quality Ghanaian content. She explained that it has become a collective responsibility to help boost the movie industry and restore its glory. Hence, such productions will be a starting point.
At Media General, we have a very rich and enviable history of promoting local content and making our screens more African so that we can help to impart more of our culture to the generations after us.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam. Amza. Yade.
Lafiya.
Me aka yi?
To, na sinto wani mutum ne jikin hanya.
Minister of Information, who was guest of honor at the premiere, Mustafa Hamid, stated that the content of Sadia gives hope to the ordinary person about the prospects of the movie industry.
As somebody who is always campaigning for the indigenization of our country, of our institutions, of our values and so on, I'm very, very impressed, and I'm sure that this is not something that I want to miss at all.
Some stakeholders of the creative arts industry who witnessed the premiere said such innovations will help diffuse the influx of foreign telenovelas on the Ghanaian media screens. They said the Ghana novella, as it's been termed, will be one of the first remedies to gradually take over the media space with Ghanaian content.
We are Ghanaians, and so we should be proud of ourselves as Ghanaians. And so once we begin to go on this tangent, I am so very sure that Ghanaians will embrace it.
I'm playing the role of a detective in Sadia. There's a serious murder in the house, and you need a very strong detective. And employ each and every Ghanaian over there to watch Sadia.
Sadia debuts on TV3 on Monday, December 11 at 8 p.m.
Alright, so I will do well to watch it, and you should watch out for it. It's on Monday, 8 p.m. Let's move on to some more entertainment news this afternoon. Acclaimed rapper TikTok walked out of a live TV interview after producers played a video of Shatta Wale speaking exclusively to our entertainment correspondent Owusu Orai. TikTok argued abandoning the interview was necessary to ward off disrespect and tell producers that they can't take his brand for granted.
Because you asked that question. I mean, you and Shatta, the back and forth. One day, I woke up in the morning, and everybody was calling my phone. And I was wondering what the situation was. And then I could remember a friend of mine rang me and said, have you seen TV, radio, whatever that's going on? I said, what? He said, oh, you know, are we showing Shatta's video? Because I'm talking about him? Well, just no. No, but because I have new videos that we should be showing. So and we have a lot of them. We're showing your videos. We can't be showing Shatta's video while I'm here talking about him. You know, I didn't come here to promote Shatta Wale. Okay, well, listen.
What statement were you seeking to make with that action?
My actions were direct and straight. My actions was to say that, you know, I can't be taken for granted. And so it's just got to do with what I feel should be done. And over the years, close to 2 decades, that have not been done. And before I went into the show, I was telling them that they should play my new videos. That interview was a perfect opportunity to show to the whole Ghanaians my new singles. And I thought I did not get up early morning, as early as 4:30, to come to GH1 to talk about another artist. That was never my idea. But not to disrespect GH1, I also felt that it is equally important to deliberate on the issue. But to go as far as showing the artist's video and then my video not being shown, my new video, I thought it was not in the right direction. So I just felt, look, for me not to jump any bomb, it's best I walk out. The thing got to me so much that I was making them understand that I wasn't going to continue the interview because this is not how it is done. And I feel that that wasn't right.
Talking about him, you know, I didn't come here to promote Shatta Wale.
Okay, well, listen,
this is a perfect opportunity to tell GH1 that, look, it's not about GH1. It's about the product that was put together. Am I Shatta Wale's publicist or PR? The truth is that I have so much respect for GH1. Let me tell you, I had to quickly get up at 4:30 because of traffic and go to GH1. Do you think I will be thinking that I will go and do that?
Would you describe that as the greatest disrespect that you have seen in your over 15-year career?
Not the greatest disrespect, but it's just unprofessional. She called me to apologize, which I really appreciate. This is not personal. You should understand. This is for my brand. And it's not like I did it because I'm drunk. I don't drink. Neither do I smoke.
Were you expecting the response by Charles Nyama-Mensah? He said that what you did was the smartest thing and was the right thing, and that Ghanaian musicians have been taken for granted for so long.
For me, I don't want to comment on that.
In the future, do you see the two of you working together?
See, I'm a businessman, and for me, everything is possible. Everything is possible in life. You shouldn't rule out anything in life.
Well, are they certainly the best of friends? Also, I will be looking more into that later tonight on News 360. But let's move away from entertainment and do some international news now. And in international news this afternoon, the Security Council unanimously approved a resolution Friday that will enable the UN peacekeeping force in Mali to provide support to the new 5,000-troop African force that is charged with fighting extremists in Western Africa's vast Sahel region. The French drafted resolution asked Secretary General Antonio Guterres to quickly conclude a technical agreement to have Mali's peacekeepers provide operational and logistical support to the five-nation African force. Now, the support includes medical evacuation, supply of fuel, water, and rations, and the use of UN engineering units to establish camps in Mali. And that will do for Midday Live this afternoon. Thanks so much for staying with us. Remember, you can still stay interactive on our social media platforms, also on 3news.com. My name is Nanekia Mensah-Brampa. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. Watch out for News 360 later tonight. Good afternoon.